Hi guys, welcome back to the D2 Talks. My name is Fabio Palvelli. Every week on this channel we'll bring you talks with some of the best offices in the business. So if you're new here, please do consider subscribing. This week I am honored to have the guys from Pixelflakes, Matt and Marvin, talking a little bit about their journey and about their adventure in the business of architectural visualization. This talk was a lot of fun, it was very inspirational. These guys have shared with us a lot of things. I really like their work and I'm very excited to have them on the show. Anyway, as always, enough of me blah blah blah. Enjoy this talk. One, and we're recording. How's it going, guys?
Hi. Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Oh, now it seems like the audio is a little bit lower than it was before.
The audio is lower.
No, I think that Marvin has a much deeper voice than yours, Matt.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Guys, thank you very much for taking the time. I'm here with Matt and Marvin from Pixelflakes. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. Also, Pixelflakes is a fantastic name. Like,
you think so?
yeah, of course. I remember like the first time that I got in touch with your work was because of the tutorials that you did in the very beginning.
Yeah.
It was the very first time that I would look at a archivist tutorial, you know, how to break down an image and how to create beautiful post-production. And I remember looking at the name Pixelflakes and I was like, wow.
I can't tell you the amount of effort that went into trying to get a better name than that.
Seriously? No, but I think this was like a score.
Yeah, I think it's grown with this, or grown with us, and obviously we see Pixelflakes differently than someone who's never heard of the name or seen the work before.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were WhatsApping names, because at the time I was in Holland, Matt was here, and we decided to start this venture, and we were thinking about names. We even had my dad chipping in with,
the most terrible names.
with some really terrible names.
Yeah.
We're like, no, it's good. But no, we thought of a lot, and eventually we just settled on it. And I think clients have actually started to appreciate the name.
It's gone down quite well, I think.
Yeah, it's something, because it sounds a little bit quirky and different. So
Let me just ask a thing before we start. I mean, I know that Matt is a British guy, but you are from the Netherlands.
I am, yes.
Why do you have such a Cockney accent?
Nice. I was born in Utrecht, but I grew up in the UK. So I moved over to the UK when I was 8, and did like kind of senior school, junior school. I met Matt at senior school.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were 16.
Yeah.
Seriously?
We made friends because we're both tall, and that's pretty much the main reason. That's always this other huge guy walking around the like the playground, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was like, I've got to go and make friends with that guy. We can get a basketball team.
Yeah.
You are doing all the dunking, you know?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that you, if I don't mistake, both of you don't come from an architectural background, or am I mistaken?
No, I went to university in Bournemouth and I studied CGI. So originally I wanted to go into films and games, doing special effects and that kind of thing. I did my first year at university doing like character animation and rigging and skinning, which is just the least fun stuff you could ever do. I really didn't enjoy it. And then there was a division on the course. You could either do like character animation or architectural visualization. And at the time, I pretty much had no idea what ArchViz was. I didn't really know much about it. But I knew that the kind of character side of things was so competitive, and the guys online are just super good. Like, there's so many really talented people out there, and I just knew I had no chance of hitting that level. So I started doing ArchViz, and I found you could make these amazing photoreal images in a few days, and it just, from there on, it was just like obsessed pretty much with that kind of, you know, trying to get that photo real, and you know, that's how it kind of originally started. So I did 2 years at university studying ArchViz, and then I did a placement year at Visual House. I was there for about a year and a half in their London office. Super good. They taught me loads of stuff then. And then I graduated, went to Vionics, and I worked at Vionics for about, I think it was a year or so. And then that's when me and Marv started the company after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I come from more of a media background. So yeah, I've always enjoyed media, Photoshop, graphic design, that kind of stuff. I think I did my work first like placement at a media firm when I was 9. I was doing, I was making VHS covers, artwork in Photoshop. The power of photo editing kind of became real and like what you can do. I then, always did media kind of growing up, and then I went to university and studied game design, game development. Purely not necessarily because of the kind of 3D and technical skills or the programming skills. I did enjoy that aspect, but I really enjoyed the thinking behind it and the concept of game design, thinking about how you can engage people in interactive media. And then, did university, did my master's degree in interactive media and art and technology in Holland. Then I was doing a lot of freelance work. I did some app development. I did, lots of different projects. And then it was that kind of freelance. At that freelance time, I was speaking to Matt, and he just finished his job at Bionix, and he had a few more offers on the table. I think from I think it was like D-Box and those kind of guys. And I said to him, look, I'm freelancing at the moment. It's boring on my own. Let's start a company together. And we were always mates growing up, and we just said, let's do it.
Yeah, what Marv hasn't told you here is he is literally when you were like 16, you were the biggest hustler I've ever met in my life. Like you were making websites for people at like 13 and stuff.
No, it was I've always enjoyed media. So like I remember the freelance stuff. We made like I made an app for Heineken. I remember like a beer app. So we recorded beer sounds, and then you could make a beatbox app out of like a beer sounds, doing graphic design. Like for EasyJet.
This is like 16 or something, by the way. It's crazy.
But Matt kind of saw, this is pretty cool. It's got some cool clients. But working on your own is like I remember there were weeks when I was at university next doing freelancing. It was just like not sleeping, and it's fun, but it's I'd say it's a million times better doing it together.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's I think it's a natural progression, to kind of find somebody that has the same vision, same attitude towards things, and start a company together. This is now one of the things that I'm asking some of the people that are connected to me in the industry, because I'm about to make a video on how to go from freelance to having a company. One of the things that was very interesting to me that you just said is to be interested in how to engage people with the stuff that you do. And I think that your visuals kind of go in that direction. I think that it's a very engaging work for people to look at. I don't know, do you want to talk a little bit about this kind of this aspect of your work?
I mean, I think when we started, because my background, I'd never heard of ArcViz before, and I kind of saw what Matt was doing, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Because firstly, I think one of the powers of ArcViz and compared to media is that media projects last forever. Like if you're working on a game, like game development, we did projects at uni where you're spending a year, 2 years on the same project, and there's just such a nice, satisfying, quick turnaround with ArcViz. I think obviously projects are revisited, or if you're working on it slightly longer. But I really like the idea of just the quick turnaround. But with my kind of background in media and trying to think about, okay, how can you engage people a little bit more? We've always had a vision for Pixelflakes, which is only kind of becoming more of a reality now, where we use ArcViz. It's the images is one aspect of it, but it's about creating a brand and trying to engage people and thinking about the marketing behind it and the branding of a project. It's not just not just an image, not just artists making cool images. It's thinking about the storytelling and
and I think that kind of thing is very much an evolution over time. We would like to think that when we first started the company, we had a good brand and we were making nice images. But when you look back on it, it's sort of like it's a journey, isn't it? You see yourself going somewhere, and I guess that kind of evolution of the brand has only really become, like Marv said, something we're really striving for now, because we have the capabilities in-house to do more of it. So we have people who are just there for art direction and people who are just there for like media stuff and this kind of thing. So that kind of engagement as in the company as a whole, not just the images, is something we're starting to push more into now. But as far as images go, I mean, they're good. They're all right.
How many people are you at the moment in the office?
We're 14.
13 at the moment, and then we're interviewing for 3 new roles. So at the moment, so hopefully by the summer we'll be 16.
Yeah, around there somewhere.
When you came to speak at the D2 conference, you were probably like 5 or 6?
5, yeah, we were 5 people.
5, yeah. I cannot remember.
4 years ago?
Yeah, that was in 2015.
So about 3 years ago. Cool.
My God, the time is flying.
Yeah, that was, God, I remember you getting in touch with me that first time, and I was like, they want us to do a presentation, like us? Like, I couldn't believe it. And,
I had to do a lot of convincing work.
You did, yeah. I wasn't too keen at first, was I? It was pretty much the first presentation we had been asked to do outside of like universities and that kind of thing. So it's quite a big step for us to go and do a presentation to the rest of the industry and show what we're doing. It's very easy to do presentations to students and people who are learning, but to do a presentation to your peers is a whole different thing. Yeah. So it was quite a daunting prospect at the time. So yeah, I remember it was lots of emails, lots of Facebook messages, trying to get us over it. Yeah. It was very fun. It was really good.
Yeah, no, I remember, and I think that this is something that I find myself also, like all the time that I talk to the, let's say, youngest ones in the industry, they always get very surprised by the fact that we wanna hear their perspective, on the whole archivist. Although I feel like the term archivist is becoming every time more restrictive, because as you guys are saying that there is a natural evolution to the stuff that you guys are doing, I think that the whole industry is kind of changing in that direction as well. And I feel that this is a very positive thing, that we are not kind of limiting ourselves to making images, but we're actually developing a whole industry based on the thinking and developing ideas which go beyond architecture. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the way we approach clients, we never really say we're an architectural visualization firm. It's one of the strings to the bow, but we more brand ourselves now as architectural marketing company, I guess. So it's more, doing the full package of work.
Yeah, I think also one of the things that like I said, that drew me to my study back in the day, gaming design. It's not necessarily because I'm a big gamer, although we play a lot of FIFA as well now and that kind of stuff. It's about how can you engage someone? Like, 'cause if you think about a game, like people play that for like hundreds of hours. Some games, so you try and engage someone for that amount of time. If you can create something which someone will look at or be interactive with for over even over 10 seconds when it comes to our visuals. Like if you can create something that entices someone, then that's where it becomes really super interesting, because then you're not just making images, you're making you're making interactive pieces of work because people are engaging and they're sticking around. So it's about applying that to what we do as a whole, and with that we've branched out into things like app development, websites, brochure development, marketing strategies, and for the residential stuff that we do. So it's kind of like Matt says, adding a few more I think things to your suite that you offer, but thinking about it from the client's perspective. So how to engage people and keep them engaged. Yeah.
I wanna ask you, have you guys done any project that is not related to architecture?
Yeah. When we start the farmer video.
Anything you can share with us?
No. So I think we've taken on a few projects throughout the course of Pixelflakes, which are more media related. We did branding videos for an agricultural institution once, which basically a massive
like 4 years ago.
Yeah. And no, we can't share it with you. But there was basically a big agricultural conference, and because of the freelance work that I was doing before, I still had some connections within that world, and they wanted us to do like a big media video for the launch for the event, which actually paid for our first camera, which we still have, the 5D Mark III. So we do, and I think with ArcViz as well. We do a lot of projects now with urban planners, which lead to, you know, I guess media in the wider scale of things, thinking about, you know, like master plans, land use diagrams, and interactive spinning models, and things which are still ArcViz, but less in the traditional sense, like not just single images and that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, we are expanding in that.
Yeah.
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 Any like field that you are currently interested that you know, like typography or maybe logo design, something like this, that you say, okay, there is no correlation with architecture visualization at all, but we are just very interested and we're going in that direction?
No, I guess we don't, do we?
No, we've done it for a couple of projects where we've branded, but it is still architecture related. Yeah, so we did like logo design for architectural projects, but not outside of that. No.
Yeah.
No, but I find it very fascinating, you know, to kind of find a way to integrate this and say to the client, look, we came up with this, maybe you want to buy it as well as the images or as well as the concept.
Yeah, no, we're definitely doing that.
Yeah, we do a lot of, I guess it's still architecture related, but we do like in-house matte painting stuff and concept art style imagery just for training in-house, but nothing that we actively try and seek work for. But I know there's some very talented people, like our good friend Thomas Dubois. Yeah, him doing the kind of like concept artwork he's doing is incredible. So I've got huge respect for those guys who are trying to branch out into this kind of different industry and trying different things. So no, we're trying to get ArcViz nailed, you know, expand nicely, and then we can start to look more into these kind of things as we get to a comfortable kind of position. Yeah. But for now, we're just sticking with boring old ArcViz.
like you said, it's not really ArcViz, but architectural marketing is the whole. Yeah, so not just the visualization, but the whole kind of suite.
I want to ask you a couple of things regarding, you know, the building of a team. Like, you know, now you told me that you have passed the 10 people mark, which I think it's already like a very big achievement for anybody, actually, you know, to put more than 10 people in one room and say, you guys get along.
Yeah, it's quite daunting, really, isn't it? When you think about
No, because we were like, I think it's always funny. I was thinking about it the other day actually, because I was walking the dog in a park and I ran into another dog owner, got to talking, and he's got a media company of 70 people. And I was just like, wow, man, that's really a massive achievement. And it's like, I guess it's organic. And then I was thinking about it myself, and it is organic, because Matt and I started in his bedroom with 2 PCs, and no costs. We didn't pay ourselves or those kind of salaries, any salary costs or anything like that. And, you know, now our monthly overheads are, you know, a lot of people would be shocked by, you know, what actually is involved in running a studio. You know, you got your rent, your PCs, your salaries, just so many costs which ramp up to a monthly figure that if you'd showed me that monthly figure before we started, I'd have run for the hills. So I would have been just like, no way.
I don't think back then we ever thought we would get to this.
No, of course not. We didn't know it existed. We didn't know it was just starting to do something that we loved. It wasn't about the money. And we've kind of been fortunate enough to grow into where we are.
Yeah.
How did you learn, say, the management part of it? Like, did you decide, okay, today we're going to a business coach, somebody that, you know, can teach us how to take a budget and make it work, or how did that happen? I mean,
Yeah, go on, sorry.
No, please tell me, because I'm very interested in this, you know?
Yeah, I think the only way to do this, I mean, you can have a rough idea. Like, you can get people who are relatively business savvy, have a good understanding of how things should work. But when we first started the company, we'd never completed any work independently for people. I mean, I've done a few freelance things, and Marv done some freelance stuff. But as a company working with other companies, it was something we hadn't done before. So at first, it's a case of making mistakes and ensuring that you learn from those mistakes. So the next time when it happens, you know exactly what to do. I mean, when we first started with companies, we forgot to quote someone once. Like, it was like literally like the mistakes we made were massive. They were like, this is like the first few projects. We were forgetting massive things.
Yeah, we invoiced in euros instead of pounds once.
Yeah.
And at the time, this was when the pound was quite strong. So we were like, what else have we done mistake-wise? we took on, I think we used to quote in hours as opposed to like image pricing, because that's all we knew. Like when I was freelancing in media, you'd quote an hourly rate and that kind of thing, and we'd be like trying to split down how to make an image in the amount of hours.
Yeah.
So it's just like we didn't know.
And we were young. We were 22, 23 at the
Yeah,
time. So
for sure.
we were just kids.
Oh yeah, now you're 25. It's like, how old are you guys?
I'm 29. Miles
28.
Yeah, okay. So you're still young. What are you worried about?
I know.
Yeah, but like we were really young then. Like we're young now, but we were really young then. No, but so yeah, and I think the good thing about Matt and I think, is that we have different interests and different skill sets.
I think that works very well.
There's no direct kind of crossover of where we're both trying to do the same thing. So our roles are very much defined. So Matt looks after the artists and the visualization, is a visualization director, and I'm managing director here, so I look after the business and the client side of things. But we keep each other updated on that front, but we both have roles where even when we started, I was trying to make images to help kind of build a portfolio, but Matt would, come in and like literally pick up my monitor and throw it out the window, like, what the fuck is that? And after I'd been working for like a week, like non-stop, trying to make this beautiful piece of art, and he was just like, no, this is like, no, it wasn't that bad. I made some alright stuff. But at the same time, like going to business meetings and that kind of stuff, I took more of the lead and calling all the clients to try and get the work. We just like went on Google and said, okay, who are the cool architects? And then you call the receptionist and you just say, can I make images for you? And obviously there's a way around doing that and trying to get work. So yeah, we both had our roles defined, which helped.
I think the main thing is just experience, having a clear plan, and good accountants as well is another big thing. Like they help a lot. So
we've got very good accountants.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. It's I'm just enjoying this so much because it's like I feel like everybody has been through that part of the process,
Yeah, I'm sure every company has got one super embarrassing story about when they first started.
No, but I love the one where you charged in euros instead of pounds. It's like
we used to quote people in different currencies because
because the currency exchange. So we we quoted this guy in Europe, we quoted this guy in pounds, and we invoiced in euros. And they obviously, it's this ARUP was a company with some big firm, and they'd already paid. So I had to call up the accountant and was like, we've invoiced in pounds instead of euros. And he was like, okay, no worries, just make me a credit note. I was like, dude, what the fuck's a credit note? Matt's Google credit note while I'm on the phone.
Google credit note.
and then we figured out how to make a credit note, and we send him this, and then it all
the good old days. This is the good old days.
All cleared up.
But I guess that, the more you do, the more you find clients that are, willing to support you, even though you make mistakes. Because at one point, the good clients, those who want to build a good business relationship with the people that do stuff for them, they don't want to lose that. So, they're not going to argue about a 20% surcharge or something. So,
and I think it's like you say, there were companies. I remember one guy, one of the directors of Benoit in London at the time, he really saw the charm in two kids who didn't really know what they were doing too much, and he kept giving us work, and he saw the enthusiasm and the motivation behind it, so he kept giving us the work. So I think if people see that in you, then I think they'll give you work.
I think this is also something that it's pretty typical of the UK. A city like London, it's a city where you can get up in the morning and say, today I'm going to do this. If you really put the work in it and you're convinced of what you're doing and you hustle, you're gonna get there,
The opportunity is, especially in London, is massive. I mean, when we first started the company, as soon as we built up enough money, the first thing that we did was get an office here. So even though we didn't need to, I mean, we started in Essex, which is about half an hour from here. It's not far. but we still knew the importance of having that London postcode on the website, firstly, and also the ability to go to meetings really quickly if someone needs you to is huge.
Yeah.
So, you know, the opportunity here for, you know, the amount of architectural firms, world-leading architectural firms here is huge. It's pretty much one of the main hubs for ArchViz in general. So that was, for us, it was one of the first things, you know, get that London office and move forward like that, yeah.
If people wanted to work for you, what is the thing that you look for in an artist, in a creative director, whatever?
Cool, I'm gonna go get coffee. That's gonna... this part.
Yeah, I mean, with artists, it's tricky. I mean, the main thing is, I think the main thing is probably still personality. Like having someone who's just generally nice to work with is a huge factor. Someone who can take critique and also give critique and understand that, you know, it's nothing personal. It's just trying to better the work. It is a huge thing. You know, a lot of people can take things a bit too personally sometimes. So having that kind of personality is one thing. And then I think the next most important thing would generally be, you know, ambition is always good to see. Obviously, you need good 3D skill as well. But I think just generally having a cool person you'd like to work with is one of the things more and more that we're leaning towards when we hire people. You know, at first it was someone with an awesome portfolio, get someone with a good portfolio, but then they only last 6 months because you don't get on, they don't like it, you know. So I think it's just a case of getting someone who's fun to be around and fits in with the team well. Yeah. And then hopefully we have the infrastructure here now to teach in that sense. So I mean, it's what do you reckon?
No, I think it's like we're not. We're interviewing now for a graphic designer as well, and more media people to expand that side of the business, which is more my thing. And I think that same ethos, it's not all about the portfolio naturally. I think as you grow and you have more things like art direction in place, like Matt doesn't make images really anymore. We have another art director here, Ben, who's you know, constantly helping just expedite the process and make the images of the same quality. It's not about the individual artists. So with that in place, you're able to focus more on things like, you know, the dedication of someone, you know, their motivation, where do they want to be, where do they see themselves in a couple of years' time, and their personality, because we're a small firm still, we're a small business. So if one person comes along and, you know, then they're not a good fit, that's very noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, it's of course, you know, worst when you have a smaller team and everybody's pointing the finger against the person, and you know, it's like I think it's also very uncomfortable for the person that covers then that position. But anyway, regarding this topic, one of the things that people are asking me because of the videos that I make is, how do you build a team that sticks together? And I want to ask you this because, I know that you guys have done a lot of like extracurricular activities outside of the office, going to places and so on.
Yeah, I think the main thing is when we first started the company, we always wanted to have the kind of environment where, you know, like as you build a company, it gets a bit more political and it gets a bit more serious and that kind of thing. I think having an environment which we would still love to be working in is one of the main things that we strive for. So I think the important thing about, I mean, like maintaining a team is integral, especially when you've had someone here for 2, 3, 4 years. You know, you want these artists to stay because they understand how it works, how things go. So keeping the team together is crucial. So I mean, I think having an environment where people feel like they're really achieving something work-wise is important. You know, like we want to be the best company. You know, we want to be making the best images. And we as a company are putting together the infrastructure for the artists to be able to achieve that. It's not just a case of expecting someone to work long hours and get good work. It's a case of we are putting the infrastructure there to achieve that within your normal working hours. So having a fun environment to work in, which isn't too stressful, you know, you're making awesome stuff. And then also alongside that, you also have being very transparent with us as a business as well. We have monthly meetings with the whole team where we talk through plans for the company. So we're looking to go into more media stuff. We're looking to do more interior like hardcore 3D interior work as well. You know, we outline our steps as a company and all this kind of stuff. So that transparency is nice. But then on top of that, you also have, like you say, the extracurricular stuff where we go away once a year, all expense paid holiday. We went to Italy last year. Went to France a year, stayed in a castle. It was pretty awesome. Yeah. So that kind of stuff, and like pub lunches, and you know, this kind of thing these are just little perks, I guess. Yeah.
Everyone gets a monthly massage. from a professional masseuse.
Yeah, from us.
Really?
No.
I was like, oh, gets a massage from Matt whilst working, you know. Hashtag me too.
So no, I think like there's the aspect of making the environment because I think it kind of reflects how we were doing it like when we started, because we were putting in long hours because of I suppose the lack of experience of what the work was actually going to take, and not only that, but you have to hustle when you start out. You know, you're making images for free. You're selling your soul a little bit when you start. But you know why you do it. You know, you change that quite
This is
quickly.
entrepreneurship. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, we didn't take salary for 8 months. I don't think.
No,
Matt-
but it's very important. Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you because you see, the internet is polarized. People are going to say, "Oh, that guy said work for free. Everybody work for free." You know,
Yeah.
that's not what it means. It
No,
means
no.
that you have to evaluate and understand what brings you value to grow as a person. Meaning that, you know, money will not necessarily come in at first. It will take a little bit of time. It will come in the long run. But we are not suggesting people that you should work for free.
No, not at all.
definitely.
I think when we started, like I say, if a 22-year-old calls up leading one of the architect firm and says, "I want to make an image for you," the chances are they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, we'll give you full image pricing for an image." You know, so but now, you know, we turn away people. If anyone ever says, now we get an email through which says, "Oh, you know, we've got 50 images for you, but the first 2 need to be free," I don't even respond anymore. Like I just go straight to junk mail. So we don't. You know, it's about realizing what position you're in, and you know, kind of what value you bring, and putting yourself in a position of the architect or the developer, and thinking about, okay, is there a chance I'll get more work, and then you kind of go, you know, finance wise it kind of sorts itself out. I mean, we turn away a lot of work as well, I think, because we're just touching base on the finance versus the happiness of our internal artists. Mm-hmm. I'd say we turn away maybe 50% of the work 50% of the work we're actually doing, that kind of workload we turn away every month. So we constantly have an overflow of work because we don't want to overbook our team. We don't want people to stay past 6 o'clock. Sometimes they do, sometimes they have to, but generally, you know, it's 9 to 6, and we don't want people to be drained. We want them to be creative, and we want them to feel like it's a fun environment. You know,
definitely.
I think it is great that the community as a whole, it's kind of like getting a little bit more aware of this, you know, human dimension. Put it this way, it's probably not the right word, but you know, understanding that this kind of work, you cannot do it as a machine. You kind of have to have your human dimension, and you have to be able to perform at the best of your own possibilities. Of course, that's not a call for being lazy. It's a call for being, you know, aware of the fact that you as a person should contribute actively to the work that you do, and not expect somebody to tell you what to do. Otherwise, you're not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And having that kind of creativity with the artists as well is super important. You know, the team we have here now is you know, it's pretty strong now as far as like the amount of years. Like everyone's been here like at least 2 years. You know, we haven't got anyone who you know is less than that really, because they've been hired for a while.
You don't have like a high turnover of people, right? People coming and going.
No, I think when we started, it was higher, but even then it wasn't that high. Like in the history of the company, we've fired one person, Matt and I, and that was because it wasn't working out. We naturally feel that if an artist kind of joins, you know, we assume that they're there for the long run. You know, we've got 2 people who are associates. One person's going an associate very soon, but we share our dividends. So we give them a profit, a share of the company, because we expect people. Sorry, it's the main phone going off. We expect people to know if they're giving their all for us, we want to, you know, share that kind of profit, and make
Yeah,
them
it's important to have that team that's well knit and enjoys working together and goes on a holiday and doesn't feel like they've been forced to go. This kind of thing. It's important.
Guys, this was beautiful, really. Like, it's so refreshing to see, let's say, the new generation bringing this kind of innovation in this field. I think it was fascinating to listen to both of you speaking. I have one wish. I don't know if we can organize this. Can we get everybody to stand in front of the camera and say hi? Maybe I take a picture.
We probably could. You have to give us 5 minutes to round them up. But,
Okay.
A few of them are out at lunch.
Let's do that. I'll tell you what. We're already 35 minutes in. I think it was a fantastic interview. Let's stop it for now. I'm just gonna stop the recording. I put already your Facebook on here. If people wanna find you, where is it best for them to reach you?
Yeah, I mean, our Facebook page, we have an Instagram page going now as well.
Yeah, just go to pixelflakes.com and all the links are on there.
And we are hiring, so I mean, if
Hiring.
want to send us some CVs, go
Yeah.
You heard the man.
That's also for any talented kind of graphic or multimedia artists, like even people who are interested in 3D but not really there yet, or like want to go there, but yeah, for sure. All right, so
guys, thanks a lot for taking the time. I'm gonna stop the recording and then get everybody in front of the camera. I'm gonna take a snapshot and post it on Facebook. Okay?
All right, no problem.
I'm stopping the recording now.
All right.
Thanks a lot, guys.